Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real History. I am your host, Jared Frederick, and on this very special episode, I am joined by my brother Mark here on the Keystone service. We are on our way to New York City to view the grand premiere of Apple TV's much anticipated Masters of the Air. I'm really looking forward to this one. We're going to chronicle some of our journey, and we'll see if we meet anybody famous or interesting. I'm sure we will. So let's head on down the track and see what's in store. We certainly aren't going to let our time be squandered here in New York City, and I'd like to revisit some New York sites associated with the Second World War. We are standing outside of Madison Square Garden, and during World War II, that was the site of the magnificent Penn Station, one of the crown gems of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it was through that area that tens of thousands of service members throughout the war, including members of the 8th Air Force, traveled to and from as they were either going overseas or coming home from overseas. So it's always good to reflect about what was once here, what's been lost, and who walked these streets so many decades ago. We're here at the 92nd Street Y in New York City, and I think this is a really perfect venue to have this premiere. This structure was built in 1930. It was a beneficiary of New Deal money and New Deal projects. This place was a thriving center of the arts within the Jewish community during the Great Depression years and during the Second World War. It was involved in various philanthropic endeavors as the Second World War was underway. I think it's a great venue to look at Masters of the Air in this really vibrant Art Deco setting, and I'm really excited to go in and see what the place looks like. I am now here with my friend Roger and his friend John, both of whom are history film aficionados, like so many of you are. And I guess we need to give a little bit of backstory for you and me as water drips down on your forehead here. Roger and I appeared as guest programmers on Turner Classic Movies the same evening in 2019, and we have remained, I think, pretty good friends in the years since, and I look forward to that friendship blossoming further. So, you both are drawn here to see Masters of the Air. What would you like to see in it? What are you anticipating? What do you think we might be able to expect?
I'm expecting another great quality show with great acting and great depiction of real American history. And, Spielberg and Hanks teamed up. This is the third project, I guess, the third master project they've combined on, and I'm expecting a production pretty much on par or maybe, superseding what they've done already.
With a $250,000 budget, I hope so. What do you think?
I think what I'm looking forward to is something that really feels visceral. That really feels, like takes you right there. I think especially, with a Spielberg and how technology is advanced, you're going to really feel it more than you've ever felt it before. And that's what I'm really hoping to get out of this.
Absolutely. And what I'm hoping to see, and we were talking about my friend John Homan over dinner, 8th Air Force pilot, flew 34 missions on a B-24. He knows about this series, and what he hopes that it represents is just the colossal undertaking. What does it take to get 1,000 planes up in the air on a one-day mission? It requires a lot of behind-the-scenes willpower, collaboration, teamwork, not only among pilots and crew, but those on the ground. That's what he hopes to see in this series. That's what I hope to see too. Well, all right, well, let's go in and see how it is. All right.
Looking forward to it.
So here we are right outside the auditorium, and unfortunately you can see that we aren't going to be able to cover any of the actors directly in the main auditorium. We'll see what we can do on the other end, but my brother Mark and I are now going to head in and enjoy the show. We'll see you on the other side. All right, fellas. So, what do you think? What were your first impressions of the first episode of Masters of the Air?
Well, looking forward to seeing the rest of the series, but first impression is the youth. Really impressed upon me that how young these guys were and what they did, going up again and again and again to win this thing for us. And I just hope that and people should see this, because we're still sending the youth out doing these impossible and crazy things. Why?
Yeah.
But that was it for me. Seeing the young guys, Jared.
It's a good universal question for us to think about. And so many war movies cast people who are too old, and this film does not do that. So yeah,
No, I have to agree. I mean, really, it's these guys are really young, and you really feel that. And also, what I got out of this was like they had no idea what they were in for. I mean, it's like they really, you can talk about war, but until you go on that first mission, it's kind of like, and then it changes everything.
yeah. Something that really struck me was something that people will not get on their television sets, and that's the volume, the cacophony of battle that I think just really stood out. And then that was followed by the cacophony of teenagers and 20-somethings during the Q&A, which I was not anticipating. Folks, this was like a scene from the movie Elvis. I felt like I was there. I had almost like a concert-like environment during the Q&A.
Well, I just have to say, I was expecting a different audience, and all of a sudden we went in there, and you just said it. It's like it was. I think for a World War II film or series, it was like 80% women and under 30 years old.
Yeah, I can wonder why. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But
The boys, the boys were the masters of the air in this one.
and they were the masters of the stage tonight too. But you really got a sense of the camaraderie, the friendship, the humor that they developed, and I really think that's going to show up on screen.
One of the other things that I found really interesting is some of the like the little quirky things, like throwing the salt over your shoulder, and like the little things about luck. It's kind of like you don't think about it, but they really had all of these, like these I don't know what would.
I love seeing the part where they're up in the air and 10,000 feet in the air. It's negative 40 below zero, and where one of the gunners touches the metal of the machine gun with his bare hands, and his skin gets glued on there, and he's got to strip his hands off of there and take off some skin. Those are some of these small things that happen to these guys every day as new crew members.
I think the first episode is built on a very strong foundation for all the episodes that will follow. Gentlemen, thanks so much for giving us your insight. I'm so glad we could catch up, and nice to meet you. And thank you to all of you. We'll see you next time on Real History. We're here at the Y on 92nd Street in New York City. We'll see you next time on Real History. Also stay tuned for our forthcoming episode-by-episode commentary of Masters of the Air, and I will also be sharing insights and anecdotes that the actors shared this evening at the panel Q&A session that I had the opportunity to attend. In the meantime, hit that subscribe button below. Thanks again.